Good day, Junior Tickies. I'm Mrs. Brimacombe. We're going to look now at Chapter 5, Activity 5. We are provided with the information from Prime Drive Mechanics for April 2024. The business is owned by Ronald Goodman. Required, draw up the trial balance on 30 April 2024. You would notice the general ledger of Prime Drive Mechanics was given to you. If you go back to the previous chapter, we first started with this type of business, a service business, Prime Drive Mechanics, by completing the cash receipts journal and the cash payment journal. From there, we moved on, completing the general ledger. The next step is to complete the trial balance. So now we're going to see if the trial balance balances, it means that we've done this whole process 100% correctly. We have applied the double entry principle. We are going to just go through the basics before we start with this activity. A reminder, your trial balance is basically similar to the general ledger if you look at the format. It starts, or it's got two sections, which are the balance sheet account section and the nominal account section. In my balance sheet account section, I've got all my owner's equity, assets, and liabilities. In my nominal account section, we've got all our income and all our expenses. Another thing that you would notice is that owner's equity capital will be on the credit side. Drawings, D for debit, on the debit side. All my assets appears on the debit side. All my liabilities appears on the credit side. All income appears on the credit side, and all expenses appear on the debit side. So if you understand those basics, it's actually not difficult completing the general ledger as well as the trial balance. Make sure that you study the basics. Going on to the activity. We start with everything in the balance sheet account section. And remember now, you cannot change the order. We're getting the information from the general ledger, so as it appears in your general ledger, it should appear in your trial balance. We start with our owner's equity account, which is capital and drawings. Then we move on to our assets. All assets will appear on the debit side. And then we move on to our liabilities. Liabilities appears on the credit side. Please, a common mistake, learners tend to total that and then they move on to the nominal account section. Do not total anything. Once you've taken all the balances, your new balances at the end of the month, which is the opening balances in the new month, once you've taken that to the trial balance, now we're going to move on to the nominal account section. We start with all our income, which is fee income, nominal account number 1, commission income, account number N2. Notice it appears on the credit side. Then we move on to our expenses, wages, on the debit side, consumable stores on the debit side, rent expense, debit side, advertising, debit side, and salary on the debit side. Again, please remember you have to take your new totals at the end of the month. Once we are done taking all the information from the general ledger, we can now add to see if we've done this whole process correctly. We start with everything on the debit side by adding it together. If you add everything on the credit side, it should equal exactly the same figure. If it doesn't, it means somewhere along the way you have made a mistake. Please remember dead click. Understand E for expenses, A for assets, D for drawings, L for liabilities, I for income, C for capital. Understand where on which side it increases and where does it decrease. Thank you very much. I want to leave you with this quote. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Have a wonderful day.